A very good morning to you all. Just checking in with a little supplementary video to the squat that I just did previously while I'm hitting my first coffee of the day, getting ready to get back into the swing of things with training and the new week and such. So, cheers. Yes! Yeah! Yes. It's good. All right, so with that squat vid that I just did, that session, you may have noticed, well, I would have put it in the title now, wouldn't I? I did 575 kilos for a heavy single. So you might be thinking, okay, well, that's nothing new or special or anything like that. I've done a lot more than that in the past, right? So why was I kind of so amped up about it? The reason was previously, as you may recall, I did my 190 kilo squat attempt while I was sick. And so I wasn't in tippy top condition, and I was sick on top of that. And I just didn't get it. It just wasn't there. So then the following week, I figured I'll just carry on with my program. Because I've been doing a heavy single for each of the lifts. Then supplementary lifts and stuff throughout the days. And essentially what I do, I'm going to make a separate video at some point, just kind of quickly going over what my program that I've concocted for myself actually entails. So you guys can kind of get a better understanding what it is I actually do. But anyway, I went on with my program, and basically what I do is I go for heavy singles with each of the lifts of the weeks to get that skill, practicing in that skill more and getting more comfortable and confident with lifting heavy weights and all that jazz. And then basically at the end of the cycle, I go on and I pump it up each of the lifts by 2.5 kilos, 2.5 kilos for each lift. So it's like small bumps throughout it, and then you get better and better with it as it goes on, and then you try and push farther if possible. So I went on with what I did, and I thought I'll take it easy. I'm not gonna obviously push things up again. So I'll just kind of work with what I was doing before to kind of not per se give myself a break necessarily, but not push myself any harder and try and kind of ease back into it if possible. So then I got to my squat at the end of the week, and I was feeling quite tired throughout that whole week, not gonna lie. But I was pushing through, and usually by the end of the week when I do my squats, I'm already feeling quite blasted. I'm pretty tired at the end of the week. So then I did my heavy single for that session, which for that particular cycle, it's been 172.5 kilos. And that's also what I did as my final, because that's how I calculate is about 90% of the training max, and I believe the training max for that month that I was doing was 190. So that's why I kind of thought I would give 190 a try. So I just did 172.5, which was about 90% of that max, and that's what I did previously before my attempt in it. So everything was going okay. I was feeling tired and stuff, and things were moving slower. But I thought I think the one before that, it was 157.5, and it moved slower, and I could tell that I definitely was feeling low and tired and stuff like that. But I thought I should still be able to push out the 172.5. Shouldn't be a issue. It might be a bit slow and grindier than usual, but I thought I could still do it and then just carry on. And then maybe do a deload or low stress week after, see how I feel. But I went for it, and I failed it. I went down, did my descent and everything, and then I came up, and I got to about where my sticking point is, about maybe halfway up or so, where I stalled when I did my 190 kilo attempt. And it felt fine. I went down and went up, and I went up and stuff, and obviously it feels heavy, but I didn't have any fears or anxieties that I was I was gonna fail or anything like that. But I went up, and then just for some reason, it felt like just a switch just went off in my body, like, and my body just said nope, and I was like shocked when I went up. I was just like, oh, what the hell? And then I had to go down and I had to dump it because I couldn't complete it. Like my body just kind of like shut off. So clearly I burnt the candle, so to speak, a bit more than I had perhaps realized myself. And luckily, I didn't not hurt or anything like that, nothing like that. So knock on wood and everything. That's all fine. But I am not going to be an idiot and keep pushing myself if I'm clearly in a quite fatigued and weakened state, especially with something like that, with heavy squats and stuff like that, because that's usually the one that can like tweaks me more than anything, I usually find. So I figured I'll play it smart and I'll just dial it back and build back up with the squats. So I essentially just did like what I've done before with 5-3-1. I just dialed back my training max. I think about like 15 kilos or so. So that would be like, because usually I've done like something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I dialed it back. So basically it's like a few cycles back. And then I'll just work up from there essentially, and build the skill, build the strength, and that's also going to, you know, kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit on that particular lift, so I could hopefully still keep trying to push the other two, bench and deadlift, and you know, kind of give myself a bit of a break, kind of per se, in the intensity department, while still being able to push forward to get some work in. So then after that, I took essentially like a low stress week. Still putting in some work in and stuff with the lifts and trying out some new stuff. So like I tried out the banded deadlifts and stuff for the first time. So still like doing some work in, but just a lot less volume and frequency and intensity and stuff like that. So I could still do something, but give myself a break. And so now I'm back into the swing of it. Still pushing the deadlifts and the bench press as you've seen. But then, my heavy single for squat was 157.5 for that. And I was feeling really tired and not into it and weak that day too. And like my warm-ups proceeding up to it, like 127.5 and 145, they felt like really kind of like slow and hard as well. So I was like preparing myself for 157.5 to be like pretty slow and a bit of a grinder. But it actually went like really well. It felt really good. I just kind of like locked in the zone and just whoop and pushed it in, and it went pretty well. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. So that's just basically what I'm telling you right now. I'm dialing the squats back to kind of rebuild up and everything again, because like my squats have been kind of feeling a bit funky as of lately. And I'm also pushing front squats, as you've seen, because I want to try and get better with that movement. And the other thing I want to do as well that I've just started doing is along with my third day of benching, I'm also adding in an extra little bit of squatting on that day as well, just for a little bit of extra squat frequency to see if that will also help build up my squatting. So that's the plan going forward.